It was a sticky summer afternoon in small-town America, back when a scoop of ice cream still felt like pure magic, and an ice cream sundae cost less than a movie ticket. The kind of day where the heat hangs heavy in the air, and the only thing on your mind is something cold and sweet. A 10-year-old boy in a faded baseball cap pushed open the heavy glass door of an old diner and slipped inside. The cool air rushed over him, a welcome relief from the sun. The place smelled wonderful, a comforting mix of coffee, vanilla, and the sweet scent of warm waffle cones being made. As the door swung shut, bells hanging above it jingled softly, announcing his arrival. He made his way to the long counter and climbed onto a bright red vinyl stool, his worn sneakers barely touching the floor. He looked small against the backdrop of the bustling diner. A busy waiter in a crisp white apron hurried over, wiping his hands on a towel tucked into his belt. He was a man in motion, his eyes already scanning the room for the next order, the next table to clear. "What'll it be, kid?" he asked, his tone brisk. He was already glancing toward a well-dressed couple waiting by the hostess stand, calculating the potential for a good tip. The boy, unfazed by the waiter's haste, looked up with serious, thoughtful eyes. "How much is an ice cream sundae?" he asked politely, his voice just loud enough to be heard over the diner's chatter. 50 cents, the waiter answered quickly, almost automatically. The little boy reached deep into his pocket and carefully poured a small pile of coins onto the gleaming counter. There were nickels, a few dimes, and a scattering of pennies. He leaned over them, his lips moving silently as he counted them with intense concentration, one by one. The world seemed to fade away as he focused on his small treasure. After a moment, he looked up again at the waiter, who was now tapping his pen impatiently on his notepad. "Okay," the boy said slowly. "How much is just a plain ice cream?" By now, the diner was getting even more crowded. The couple behind the boy shifted impatiently, and the waiter could practically hear the sound of the generous tip they might leave slipping away with every passing second. A flicker of irritation crept into his voice. 35 cents, he said, a little more sharply than he intended. The boy looked back down at his coins, counted them one last time, and then a small, satisfied smile spread across his face. He nodded to himself, his decision made. "I'll have the plain ice cream, please." The waiter scribbled the order on his pad, relieved to finally be moving on. He quickly scooped a simple ball of vanilla ice cream into a classic metal dish, dropped the check face down on the counter beside the boy, and walked away without another word. His mind was already on the next table, the next order, the more important customers. He never noticed the way the boy's eyes lit up, or how he savored every single spoonful, as if it were the grandest, most elaborate sundae on the entire menu. He ate slowly, making the experience last. A quiet moment of pure joy in a busy world. When the dish was empty and shining clean, the child carefully folded the paper check, left his coins beside the register, and quietly slipped back out the door, into the golden afternoon light. A few minutes later, the waiter returned to clear the counter. He was still in a hurry, his movements efficient and practiced. He picked up the empty dish and then he froze. He stopped completely. There, arranged in a perfect, neat little stack, next to where the plate had been, were 2 dimes and a nickel. 15 cents. 15 cents. It hit him like a physical blow. It was the exact difference between the plain ice cream he served and the sundae the little boy had so clearly wanted. It was his tip. This small child, who had to count every single penny he had made a choice. He had chosen to forego his own treat so that he could leave a tip for the rushed, impatient waiter who had barely given him the time of day. He had left everything he had left over. The waiter stood there motionless, the coins feeling heavy, almost burning in his palm. A feeling he couldn't quite name, a mix of warmth and shame rose in his throat. He looked at the empty stool, then at the coins. In his hurry to serve the customers he deemed important, in his chase for a bigger tip, he had treated a little boy like he didn't matter, like an inconvenience. And that same little boy, with his quiet dignity and immense generosity, had just taught him the biggest, most profound lesson of his life. This gentle, almost heartbreaking story serves as a powerful reminder of a truth we should never, ever forget. Never judge or mistreat anyone based on their appearance, their age, or the size of their wallet. You never know the battles someone is fighting or the sacrifices they are making. The smallest souls often carry the biggest hearts. And the kindness we give her, the kindness we withhold always, finds its way back to us, often in the most unexpected ways. It's a call to treat every single person we meet with respect and dignity, as if they might be the one to teach us a lesson in humility, grace, and compassion when we least expect it. Because sometimes, the most valuable things in life aren't measured in dollars and cents, but in small acts of kindness that ripple outward in ways we may never fully understand. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content that we hope inspires and uplifts you. See you next time.